golf. So, you know, if that doesn't happen, there might be some adjustments and changes that will have to be made, you know, after we see what happens. I just wanted to mention that. So, again, I would appeal to you on behalf of the board and on behalf of our general manager and our management staff that you will respond accordingly. And again, it requires obviously a marketing effort on the part of our staff to, you know, to accommodate that. But just wanted to point that out, that that's a caveat that we use in lowering those rates, and hopefully we'll get the increased usage that will make up the income that we might lose by you know, adjusting those rates. So we're hoping that this will be fair and equitable to, you know, to the entire community. As you can see, we're increasing we're putting some additional tee times in there. We're going to test that and see how that goes. So there'll be a lot of testing, a lot of things going on as we go through this. This is not just, you know, report and then we kind of throw it on the shelf and thank you, you know, for doing it. It's something that you know, that the board and staff are going to be monitoring very closely to see that, you know, hopefully the things that we're going to implement are working, and we'll probably request follow-up reports from the general manager from time to time on how things are going so that we can see how those things are developed. So what I would like to do is, before we get into the, you know, voting on these specific things I mentioned, just give the board an opportunity to ask. Would you like to ask questions at this point, or make any comments, or just take the item one by one as we talk about it? Go ahead.
The 9-holes golf rates, are there any restrictions on those as to times that they are allowed to play? No. They can play in the morning if they so desire?
I was Kevin, and I believe the winner, yeah.
Basically, what it says is they're a 9-hole membership. If they elect to play more than 9 holes, they'll come into the golf shop and pay for the additional $9. There's not any restrictions as to what times they can play.
There used to be at one.
There was, yeah, it was 11 o'clock. With only 18 people, didn't really seem to make a whole lot of sense to have that restriction. So we waived that restriction. They can play. You know, part of the reason why it kind of defeated itself, because we were doing so many 8 o'clock shotguns, they only could play in the afternoon. There was only one day that applied to them, Sunday. But that way wasn't fair. So we allowed them to play at any time. If they decided to play the additional 9 holes, they would just come in and pay ahead of time.
I'm going to express, I know what is a minority point of view. I feel I'm committed to saying in our creed, we say we treat our residents or friends equally as honored guests. No resident shall suffer or benefit from discrimination. In my mind, when we structure golf rates for seasonal, for annual, for 9-holers, and we charge a different rate for the pay-as-you-go, we are discriminating. And this is the only amenity in which we do that. When we go to the restaurant, we all pay the same when we pick off the menu. When we go to the golf course, we charge different rates depending on what class person you're in. We, the board, and the manager create the vision that's in this community when it comes to golf. I just think it's incumbent to charge everybody the same rate. And I said, I'm not looking for a debate, I'm just expressing my opinion.
Bob, I would add, I don't disagree with what you're saying. We all have to understand that this golf program has been in existence for a long period of time. Many of the golf residents are accustomed to the pricing schedule we have. So my feeling is I don't disagree with you. I just think the changes need to be done over a period of time to ultimately get us to the point where what you're talking about.
I think unless the economics change in this country and we start having an influx of younger golfers who take advantage of it, we're going to have to bite the bullet eventually. All we're doing is delaying the inevitable, in my estimation.
I have different comments, but I would like to respond to this. We have got to remember that a membership is a membership, and it gives you the advantages of utilizing the membership. If you want to choose to be a member, annual prepaid member, or seasonal or niner, that gives you the right to utilize the membership the way it is created. It doesn't, to me, it doesn't matter what the breakdown is and how much it costs per round. The person has bought the membership that this community has offered, and they have the right to utilize the membership.
However, we are not a country club. We are a community association where all residents are entitled to use the amenity and to have access to that amenity at a fair price.
If I go to the store here,
Now, if I go to the store and I buy one beer, the price per beer is substantially different than if I go in and buy a case of beer.
If we do away with some of these memberships, think what it is going to do to the pro shop. If you no longer have the seasonal membership or the 9-hole membership, all of a sudden, all of these people have to check in the pro shop at the same time. When we have a shotgun starter, it's difficult now to get everybody checked in with the starter. If all of these people now have to come into the pro shop, you have to have more than one person taking the money. And I just think it's going to create another problem in the pro shop. Another thing with the memberships. You have to think in terms of this is money in your hand. I have prepaid this year. I have not golfed nearly enough. I have lost money, but I did that because the convenience of having prepaid. I think we should keep the memberships that we have, and then we can keep the revenue from these memberships.
I think I'm going to hold off if we can.
No, can I just make one more comment?
Yeah, let's cut it short, because we're not talking about cutting memberships at this point.
We selectively pick and choose out of the report what we want, depending on what can't be rent. That report said every amenity should be treated the same, that everybody should charge the same for any amenity. But we decide not to do that in one case. We charge everybody the same at the restaurant. We don't charge everybody the same on the golf course. I'm just saying this is discrimination and creates division in the community.
Okay, we can make, these are all valid comments, and, something that, that this or future boards and, management can take into consideration, but the proposal today, the proposal by McGladrey does not suggest eliminating memberships. There's no proposal to eliminate memberships or to charge 1 cent fee. I think that the McGladrey report, the management recommendations, are very well balanced. They are an attempt to, to examine and to deal with, all let's use the word all classes of participation, so to speak. And I think that we're lowering rates, we're creating additional tea time, we're going to see improved customer service across the board that will hopefully welcome everyone on a equitable and fair and friendly manner. And, I think we've made some great strides. I think that we need to now bring this community together. A major part of this is to try to heal our community, to try to bridge this gap, and kind of like, golfers versus non-golfers, various, people versus, daily fee versus prepaid, or whatever those might be. Our goal is to bring a sense of community, a sense of equity and fairness, and an opportunity to participate. This is a process that we're beginning, and we'll kind of see where that journey takes us. We'll see where that journey takes us. as I said, we're just beginning that journey, and it will be up to future boards, future management and the boards in the future to kind of assess how and where it's going and to make adjustments as appropriate. But I know that many of us in this room feel that, including the board, and many, I think most of us here participating as well as our community, we want to see again a sense of equity, a sense of fairness, a sense of healing. And I think that this is a good, great step in the right direction. Without further ado, what I will ask is that I would like to have a, well,
I have a comment.
you want to comment on, can you hold the comment until we get to the recommendation? You want to have a comment? I was going to entertain a motion or a discussion at least on the food and beverage minimum.
I move that we accept management's recommendation and not assess a food and beverage minimum.
Okay. Is there a motion to accept management's recommendation not to institute food and beverage minimum? What I will do is entertain any board discussion and then any resident comment. We've already had some, but any board comment on this? Question? Any further resident comment on the establishment or of a food and beverage minimum? Okay, again, any board comment? I will ask all in favor to signify by raising their right hand. That we will accept management's recommendation not to establish a food and beverage minimum. I think we have unanimous. Not vote. The motion unanimously carries that we will not establish a food and beverage minimum. I will entertain a motion about outsourcing of the restaurant.
So moved.
What's your motion?
Not outsourced to the restaurant.
Okay, we have a motion and a second, not to outsource the restaurant. Any board discussion, questions, comments? Any further resident comment on this subject? Again, all in favor signify by raising their right hand. Motion carries unanimously. We will not outsource the restaurant, at least at this time. Okay, I will entertain a motion to accept the balance of the recommendations in the management report, realizing that we may strip out one or more items from that. So, how do you want to proceed? You want to strip them out first and then accept them out?
I'll make a motion that we accept the management's recommendation as is.
There's a second. Comment?
I have a comment. This is very important to us this year. What's going on is a drastic change in order to increase the bottom line. We have to make the money to maintain the golf course. We are trying to do it by increasing utilization of the golf course. A recommendation, which is recommendation number 2, is to grandfather seasonals and grandfather 9-hole membership. I am opposed to that for a very strong reason that I believe is true to all of us. Where will each and every one of us go at some stage of our life that are 18-hole players now? Annual membership, we may not be able to play 18 holes of golf in the near future. So we may want to go to a 9-hole membership. If it's grandfathered, you don't have that option. The same is true, we have seasonal membership. The seasonal members will play in this new price, $450 less a year to play for 6 months on the course. Now granted, that's fair because they're playing in the winter time. If they're here longer than the 6 months, then they do a daily fee payment. So we're getting revenue that way also.